everybody.
Hey, everybody.
Welcome to the Saturday Chat.
Saturday Chat.
Chat.
Got a lot going on this week.
A lot unanticipated. Yeah.
Pulled into Nashville. Yeah, we got back from Memphis and went straight to work.
Yep, we were at the Springboard Conference in Memphis, which we
was
had
awesome.
An amazing time at. Getting to know some very talented, very intelligent people in the music business. So happy to make those connections and to be able to support other artists like that. So yeah, that was a great time, and I'm still processing the information. Yeah,
both.
Yeah, I still have a little pinwheel. If you look real close in my eyes, I got a little pinwheel going in there, like on the computer.
Is it loading?
Processing, yeah.
You're loading?
I'm loading. But I got other things to do, so I need to open a new tab.
And a full weekend ahead, we're going to be in Carthage, Tennessee tonight, and then tomorrow taking the band out to Eastern Tennessee, playing in Appalachia.
This is going to be airing on Saturday, so we will be in Appalachia when this airs.
Yeah.
This time traveling.
Playing in Morristown at the Rose Center for the Performing Arts.
Mountain Macon's
Festival.
Music Fest, yeah.
Mountain Macon's Music Festival.
Yeah, we played out there last year at the Rose
Center.
Center.
There right around noontime, a little bit before then, actually, 11:45.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a lot of fun.
And our friend Glenn Spaeth is going to be out there telling stories right around the same time, so we don't get to hear the
We're going to miss his stories. So mad about that.
Yeah.
So, in honor of that, though, it looks like we're doing an Appalachian folk song this weekend.
Yes, we are. So, this song, "Oh Death," was first known as "Conversations with a Sinner," I believe. And the earliest recording of it was 1920, but there are...
printed versions back to 1908.
1908, yep, and 1913. So, it's credited to a preacher... Chandler. I can't remember his first name.
Yeah, but he was not really the
They
first
said that
to do
he
it.
adapted it. Yeah, they said that he adapted it to songs.
From spirituals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which, I mean, a lot of songs are like that. So, yeah, I think it's a really... Again, last week we touched on a really uncomfortable subject matter of domestic violence. So this week, why not just dive straight into death? Because
Death don't have to be uncomfortable.
It is an uncomfortable societal conversation.
Especially.
Oh no, the subject of death is uncomfortable.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Like a lot of people, including myself, we don't know how to really talk about it or how to help somebody process it, because grief is so incredibly personal. So. Like death for a living person, like the dead don't worry about death. The living people worry about death. But
it is strange how we like worry so much about things as humans, I think.
Oh, we worry about so much. Yeah.
It's like nonstop worry.
And it is the one thing. I just like did a rabbit hole dive into death on several different Wikipedia pages, and I found out there are at least 3 species on planet Earth currently that are considered biologically immortal. Yeah.
Interesting.
One of them is a jellyfish that they can just revert back to a polyp stage and basically make little clones of themselves. And then they go out, and if they get a disease or if they're under stress or whatever, they just revert again. And they can do this scientifically into infinity, yeah. So, but something can eat it or destroy it before it's able to do that reverting.
I wonder if they can age a jellyfish, like if they can track their dating.
They don't. What they do is like when they get to a specific state of being, like if they were an elderly jellyfish, then they would just revert into being a baby.
That it was that old anyway.
No, not unless you had one, I guess, in captivity, and you could just watch it and study it. Yeah.
So technically, a jellyfish could be. What if it was all just one jellyfish that multiplied?
I mean, it could be. It could be. So.
Well, I guess we all. I don't know. Came from one at some point.
There's also an organism called a hydra, and I was like, wait a minute, this is mythical. Yeah, it was named for the mythical creature because it's able to grow all of its bits back. And there's another type of worm who's able to grow all of its organs and everything. It's basically a big stem cell organism.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is wild. I didn't realize that there was anything biologically immortal.
Let's talk about this song for a second, the performance of it.
Oh, just for 1 second, though.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Carry on.
So, I guess my first, and probably one of the most famous versions of the song, my first exposure to it would have been Ralph Stanley on the soundtrack for Death Wear Out Thou. Mm. Right?
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother Wear Out Thou. Mm-hmm. Yeah. What did I say? Oh, Death Wear Out Thou? Yeah.
I was like, that sounds right, but also not right.
So, Ralph Stanley, that was a pretty powerful version. Mm-hmm. His is a cappella? Maybe? I can't remember. It's been a while since I heard it. Yeah. Our version, like, I feel like it's maybe one of the only songs that I don't really have a set arrangement for. I mean, we're an improvisational band anyway when we perform, so, I mean, there are scripted, unscripted sections, if that makes sense. Yes. But this entire song, I feel like I just played it kind of however you were singing it. Like, we picked the key, and then I just played it whatever I'm feeling. Whatever you're doing, kind of, and I have like a little turnaround. But I mean, it's a static melody in a sense, you know, where it doesn't have a lot of change to it. So that part, you know, but as far as like the rhythmic parts that I'm doing when we perform it as a duo, I feel like I'm just kind of basically going whatever you do.
I mean, we do that quite a bit. Just a lot of listening. A lot of
this song in particular, though, like I in my mind, I don't feel like I have a grasp of, I guess, a performance in my head. Okay, you know, like a production, so to speak. Like whereas, I mean, production even in its simplest form is just like arranging key and melody and structure.
It does have structure.
I feel like this song in particular, when we start it, like I don't know how long the intro is going to take. I don't know what riffs I'm going to play where, if I'm going to play any riffs, if I'm going to play where I'm going to put more space. I just know that some things might happen.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like as far as the intro goes, I feel like that's a lot of songs for me because especially when we're playing as the duo, it doesn't have to be quite as scripted. So sometimes I want there to be more space there. Sometimes I want to give it, just kind of let it cook for a minute before we throw anything else on the fire, you know, just sort of let it simmer. And I think we've both gotten really comfortable with that sort of relationship with the introductions and some of the outros and whatnot, kind of not knowing exactly where we're going. We know the cardinal directions, but we don't necessarily know the path we're going to take to go the direction we want to go.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I think it makes it challenging and also interesting for the two of us because we're playing a lot of the same music.
I would imagine it would make it challenging for the listener sometimes too, because I mean,
you can kind of feel
not
that
everybody wants to be challenged by their music. I don't think.
True.
Some people like it safe. Some people like it to be challenging. You know, and I think that the nice thing is that you're not always going to hear the same thing twice.
Yeah, because we don't. I mean, it's not that the thing is. It's not that we don't know what we're doing. We do know what we're doing. That's why we can kind of diverge from the path.
Yeah.
We choose to diverge from the path. It's purposeful. So, about some of the lyrics of the song, was there anything like on your listening of the song?
I mean, the part that rings me is just the chorus over and over. That's the part that, that's the part that, I don't know, it evokes imagery more than it does really tell me a story sometimes, like with a song, because it just makes me think of like the whole Robert Johnson Crossroads story and like making a deal with the devil or,
death,
bargaining with death, trying to bargain for like another year or more time here. And I guess that's like I think it's like, getting back to the topic of death, it's kind of a weird thing because like sometimes it's like you're okay with it and other times you're not, sometimes you think you're okay with it and you're not, and sometimes you think that you're not going to be okay with it and maybe you are, and it's
such
you never really know how other people's death is going to strike you, like how for lack of a better term, how fast you can shake it or return to some sense of normalcy and what normalcy looks like after death.
Right.
Because it's not the same.
Well, there's big gaping holes in your life after people
go. The thing that shocks me often is that how people think that they, like, when a death affects somebody and the person that affected thinking that they should behave some kind of certain kind of way.
Yeah.
Like that always affects me the most, because it's like, I don't know that there is, why do we have to feel a necessity to be a certain kind of way for anybody? Like, so what? If it changes you, then it changes you.
Yeah.
If you can deal with it, then you can deal with it. There's no right or wrong way. I think it's a lot like life itself. It's like, we kind of, a lot of times we try to live it based on our perception of how we think others think we should live our lives. And I think that in times of stress, like, those beliefs get magnified. So, like, in a time of stress, like when dealing with death, it magnifies our own beliefs that we need to process it or look a certain kind of way that we expect other people expect us to look or act like. I know it's a confusing train of thought.
No, I get it. Because I think, like, putting... And this doesn't just apply to death or grieving, I guess. But I think putting the standard that you hold yourself to onto anyone else is a misstep. That's my opinion. Because, number one, nobody else is privy to your thought process. Even if you tell them, it's not a speech and language as we have it is not a perfect form of communication. Yeah. I'm not privy to your thought life. So if I were to expect something of you that I expect of myself, that's setting myself up for disappointment.
Well, thank you.
I think.
I agree with that. I think that, like, the best approach you can have in your life is realizing that your beliefs and your thought patterns and your standards can only be applied to yourself.
Right. Right.
Now when you're talking about society standards, in order to exist in a society,
there's certain agreements that we've made. So like here in America, we've all agreed that you're riding, you're driving on the right side of the road.
Yeah, right.
Okay, that's so that we're not smashing into each other and ruining our valuable assets, our cars and our bodies.
Things like that, right, of course.
We make agreements within the society, but I think that's a little different, and we call them laws.
It's completely different, but
it's societal agreements.
Become when we start to tell each other how to live. That when it doesn't really affect us, Right. You start to pass veteran laws, so to speak, and things of that nature.
Yeah, I don't think that's any of my business. What somebody else is doing there.
So anyway, we had a big week. We have another big week coming, and can't stress enough that we now have our first album back in stock.
Yes, we do.
So we'll leave you on that note. You can go to our website. You can pick up Far From the Tree.
Some of you already have, and we thank you for that. Yeah, thank you.
Several people already have.
And we hope you're enjoying
So,
our debut.
You better get it before it sells out again, because you never know when we'll reorder it.
No, we don't. We don't either. We don't script that either.
The CDs, they've been an interesting thing. Like, they've always sold well for us, but we've heard a lot of chatter about, you shouldn't sell CDs. Nobody's going to buy them, but we must have audio files.
I feel like our community is, first of all, personally, I feel like the community is super special. Mm-hmm. And just going through the comments and seeing over time people's hearts and people's compassion for each other, and you guys wanting to support us in whatever capacity that you're able, we see that. That's important. And it's a CD. It's a thoughtful word. It's merch when you can afford it. It's the tip jar. It's reaching out to us and giving us song ideas or sharing on whatever platform.
It's interacting. It's being part of the community.
Yeah, you're part of what we're doing.
Supporting the community in the way that you can, and that's great, because
and we see you and we appreciate it.
We've taken a leap of faith here,
Yeah.
We're just doing a thing, and
and we hope you guys are
along for the ride.
Yeah, we hope you guys are enjoying this adventure that we're on. That's part of the reason we're doing the chat, is because we want you to be able to know us as people a little bit better, and to see where we're at, and to see our hearts too, because we are reading those comments and they do affect us. And every share, every like that you're giving us, it means something to us. It goes deeper than just the click of the button. So we want you to know that we see you and we appreciate you, and we appreciate you guys going even above that, those that can, and getting those CDs and albums and hoodies and whatever the heck you want. We can have
donating to the causes,
in the merch.
Just coming to the shows, and
we see
all
you.
The things, doing all the things. We really appreciate it.
Yeah. Keep them coming.
Keep them coming.
Yeah, we want to read more comments.
We'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow morning.
Yeah, for
Death.
Oh Death.
The song that I don't know how to play.
Yeah, I do like the. I forget what it may be in even like a Harry Potter. I like the sentiment of greeting death as a friend. Like when the time comes that it wouldn't be scary or even sad. Just the passing into the next phase of being.
We certainly don't know.
We don't know.
That's okay.